When you hear the term sexual violence, what do you think of? Most people will think of rape or catcalling. According to the National Sexual Violence Resource Center, sexual violence is when someone forces or manipulates someone else into unwanted sexual activity without their consent. What role does film play in the normalization of sexually violent behavior? Let's take a look at the world's most prolific film industry and its role in perpetuating gender-based violence in its origin country and around the world. The Bollywood film industry began as early as the 1890s, but really took off in the 1940s after India gained independence. By the 1970s, Bollywood was cranking out more films per year than Hollywood. Bollywood is the Hindi-language Indian film industry centered in Mumbai, formerly called Bombay. The name implies the desire to reflect the image of Hollywood and to incorporate Western values into Eastern culture. However, it can be seen that only men are allowed to incorporate the majority of Western values, like names and clothing, while women are exotic beauties and expected to maintain Eastern values and standards. According to social cognitive theory, viewers of sexualized media will be motivated to adopt aggressive attitudes when they see that sexually aggressive behavior is rewarded. Bollywood is no stranger to human sexuality. While early films featured item songs where professional Indian dancers would perform their traditional dances for the film, modern films featured non-character female actresses dancing in front of a male protagonist, or as the only female in a room full of men. If you're a male protagonist, you're more than entitled to help yourself to a woman's body and clothing. Don't forget, the men get the privilege of being dressed appropriately, but women need to wear as little clothes as legally allowed. The objectification of women's bodies leads to many harmful stereotypes and, in turn, gender-based violence, which is physical or mental harm directed at people on the basis of their gender role, social sexual characteristics, or sexual orientation. This is also related to sex-based violence, which is physical or mental harm directed at people because of their biological or assumed appearance. Women in Bollywood are subjected to the Madonna whore complex. This means all women are divided into two categories: pure, virtuous, good, and motherly, or seductive, tempting, and sexual whores. Films teach viewers, especially adolescents, different scripts when it comes to navigating interpersonal and sexual relationships. Sexual script theory tells us what actions are considered sexual and how individuals may behave sexually. These scripts influence attention, memory, and behavior about appropriate sexual behavior, while rape or sexual assault script theory serves as a cognitive blueprint about rape. It teaches us where rape occurs, who is vulnerable, and what are the roles and consequences of participants. Besides hypersexualization, films that depict stories about rape victims often teach viewers that rape victims don't deserve justice if they put themselves in a situation to get raped.
इस देश में रेप तो कर सकते हैं, लेकिन रेपिस्ट को थप्पड़ भी नहीं मार सकते.
What does this all mean? My research question is, how does the normalization of sexual violence in popular Bollywood cinema teach viewers about interpersonal and sexual relationships? On a micro level of analysis, we're seeing women being sexually harassed, assaulted, molested, beaten, or raped by men at home or in public. On a meso level of analysis, we're seeing gangs of men attacking women protesters, gang rape as a community-ordered punishment, community rules preventing women from entering public spaces, and young female students targeted for breaking social norms. On the macro level of analysis, we're seeing the systematic, global injustice towards female victims of sexual violence, the inability to pursue justice in cases of sexual violence, and the cultural belief that it is up to the woman to prevent her own harassment. I had the privilege of working with POW Violence at Manoa. I helped with tabling events such as the Condom Fair to help bring awareness to the campus and to offer support and resources to students. I interviewed two members of POW, Chris and Raquel, to get an expert's perspective on my research.
Hi, my name is Christopher Yano Aria, and I am one of the program coordinators for Prevention, Awareness, Understanding Violence, more popularly known as POW Violence.
So my name is Raquel Renesis. I'm a graduate student with the School of Social Work, and I'm the graduate intern for POW Violence.
Here are a few of the questions I asked and answers I got during my interviews.
Well, definitely like entitlement. I think for men, it sends a message that we can feel entitled to a woman's body, and therefore like consent is not needed. In that relationship. And then sexual harassment or sexual assault isn't a serious issue.
But I think the way that it is shown in media and things, it normalizes it in the way that it's depicted. Like, it doesn't show like the woman's perspective. It only shows the man who's doing it and why they're doing it and why they feel entitled to do that. You know?
Talking about consent is really important. Having role modeling healthy relationships, because we don't see that in a lot of the movies nowadays. There's a lot of unhealthy relationships, but we don't see a lot of healthy, what healthy masculinity looks like, what healthy womanhood looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And I think being able to role model that and show that is really important.
When it comes to a woman's body, it becomes such an inviting thing. Like, well, yeah, like, yes, we're beautiful. Yes, we're strong. Yes, we look good. But that is an invitation for you to harass me, to violate me.
I have learned that although there has been a lot of progress, such as the March 2020 hanging of 4 convicted rapists in India and the passage of many laws around the world criminalizing domestic abuse, forced marriage, and other forms of gender-based violence, there is still a lot of work to be done. Instead of teaching women to stay inside after dark and to dress conservatively, we need to start teaching men that not only does no mean no, but only an ongoing, enthusiastic yes means yes.